Black here for 52 weeks of Green Lantern, week number 7. On to Green Lanterns number 1. Now let's bring up the comic. Once again, we've got Sinestro on the cover, this whole Sinestro arc. And apparently they do refer to, I believe they do refer to it as an arc. Come on. Oh, still more covers. Lots of covers for this issue. But on one title screen or another, they actually refer to it maybe at the end. Wait. Here we go. It even says Sinestro Part 2. That's what I was looking for. So this is clearly an arc, even though Sinestro is on the front page of every cover. This is not going to be a series about Sinestro, which makes sense when you consider it's just a continuation of the original series. And yes, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Han is wearing a Green Lantern ring. Now, for those of us who remember the Silver Age, we remember that Hal is able to create not even the 24-hour deputizing ring that Ganthet was able to create in Blackest Night. Sinestro was able to create the ring, the same type of ring that Hal created way back in 1960 or so for Thomas Kalmaku, I believe is his name properly. He's normally referred to as, you know, a racial slur, so I'm leaving that out for now. But that's basically what Sinestro does for Hal. The difference is Sinestro doesn't do this, oh, you know, give me a hand. He's like, no, you know, he's the same Sinestro, but as from when he was a Green Lantern before, but he's not. He's clearly been corrupted by his time as a villain with the yellow light. In other words, he's ruling Hal by fear. Now, any other Green Lantern inspiring fear would be an instant way to draw the Guardians to them. Now, Sinestro, I guess they just turned that off because, you know, that's how he does things. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of logic that the characters question and everybody questions about the whole thing about Sinestro being a Green Lantern. You know, I'm not getting into that right now because even the characters say it doesn't make sense. So, potentially there will be some resolution. So, let's go on a little bit more linear. Last issue ended with Sinestro and Hal having a conversation. So, Sinestro makes his offer. I'm trying to move fairly quickly because honestly, I'm trying not to break any copyright laws by letting you all read the comic this way. So, I know it. I don't want to turn around and be like, well, I'm going so fast so you don't get all the benefits out of my video as you could, but honestly, yes, that's kind of it, because I don't want to get my videos taken down. I don't want a cease and desist note. I'll stop doing it this way if I have to, but for now, I think it gives a nice touch. You know, gives you something to look at. So, see, Sinestro is basically like, don't do anything unless I tell you to. So Hal obviously turns around, he sees people in danger, he goes to help. Sinestro is like, screw that, I'm taking your powers away. Sinestro has this talk with Hal about, has Hal really done anything to try and make a better world? Interrupted. Just like in issue number 1, Sinestro is attacked by a member of his Corps. He kills them again. That's pretty much the end. Sinestro tells Hal that, I'll zoom in there. Here's pretty much the premise. The army I built has enslaved my homeworld, and you're going to help me destroy them. Now, you could see that in the first issue as well. Here is where Sinestro starts to develop a plan. So what do I think of this issue? Well, I think it's better than the first one. I think there are still flaws. Sinestro seems to think he can kill anybody with the ring. Now, granted, the ability to kill people with the ring is a fairly new concept, and one that he never faced as a Green Lantern, at least assuming that the rules of the ring haven't changed. But since nothing else has changed in Green Lantern, we're assuming that hasn't changed. So, he can kill enemies of the Green Lantern Corps. Now, say what you will about Hal Jordan, he does not qualify as an enemy of the Green Lantern Corps. So I think Sinestro is either overlooking or ignoring that fact. So I think we're going to see where this goes. I do think the series is looking up from the first issue, but as I've said in the past, I think pretty much anywhere this goes is going up from the first issue, because that was really abominable as a first issue. You know, I think this has some potential. Obviously, Hal's back in his ring. A ring that probably can't go very far from Sinestro and probably has an extremely limited lifespan because Sinestro has to charge his own ring in order to keep that powered. But, you know, Hal's in a ring. He's going to be fighting Sinestro Corps members. You know, it has a chance for some classic stuff at the same time. Hal trying to get back at Sinestro, trying to get his real ring back. So, it's got some potential to be pretty decent. See how far this arc goes and where they take the series. Until next time, Man in Black out. This has been 52 Weeks of Green Lantern for MIBReviews.com.